Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, aka Q&T. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So similar to my other videos, yes, I am recording this, ahead of time. Currently, it's almost like 5 a.m. But in regards to like Quant, similar to other altcoins as well, like we're not seeing like major price action moves. Of course, I have outlined my thought process on the Quant price action many times. Yes, I do believe that we will most likely see $30 to $40 being tested at some point in time. It's going to take a little bit of time. Obviously, if we are looking at like Bitcoin, for an example, having a strong pullback, if that is the case, we'll most likely either see it by the end of this month. So that's what I'm waiting for. If we don't see it by the end of this month, maybe we have a massive pump to the upside, then that would be great. We're still waiting to see, support being built. Do I think that, Q&T, for an example, is building support? No, we're still clearly in a downtrend. I know that a lot of people will say hey, we are building support. In my opinion, I don't think that we are. But one thing and one statistic that I continuously see on a day-to-day basis as well is the amount of holders being, printed in on Quant. We are seeing almost 500 to 600 new active addresses, during a bear market. Think about that. During a bear market, we're seeing 600, nearly 600, I should say, new total addresses, being added to the overall stockpile of Quampy investors. And even going back to like April, we were not seeing that many active addresses. Like, as you guys do see, like, it was kind of stagnant. So now we are seeing some mass accumulation, and I gotta say, those are very smart individuals that are accumulating right now. Also, in regards to Quant, I really want to share with you guys this. So, I don't know if you guys remember me talking about ICICI. I know, say that like 5 times, right? But I talked to you guys about ICICI Bank before. They are a very large entity in regards to like India. They are the leading private sector bank in India as well. But we do see, the bank's consolidated total assets stood at $14.76 trillion. I think that's like roughly 200 billion USD. At September 30th, 2020, ICICI Bank currently has a network of 5,418 branches and 13,463 ATMs across India. So, like I said, this is a very large, bank, especially in the India area. And the reason why we bring this back up is because we kind of have confirmation of this. So here is a head at ICICI actually talking about Quant and the missing, link in regards to like trade finance or even like traditional markets. So listen closely to this.
The need of the hour in blockchain is interoperability, linking up blockchains. So FinTech Quant Network has launched what it calls a network of networks to solve the problem of interoperability across blockchain platforms for trade finance. This will be a virtual blockchain that links existing blockchains and allow developers to build multi-chain applications. So like in all areas of life, people and banks and customers have realized that if we have to work together, teamwork is what is required for interoperability at scale. In ICICI Bank, trade chain platform is our blockchain platform. We have close to 500 clients onboarded. Being a foundational technology, I can say that we have moved from the phase of proof of concept to a phase of commercialization.
And yeah, I mean, like, you could actually see, partnership with fintechs greater, together. Like, yeah, all these banks, I don't know if we could actually see this, so I hope that you guys can see this when I zoom it in. But we do see, like, partnerships with fintechs greater together. You do see all of these major networks. Like, for an example, okay, you see customer channels, DOT networks, interbank trade networks, analytics and reporting workflow, core banking payments, AML, CTF, and so on, right? Even trade marketplaces and stuff like that. You do see like the collaborations, integrations, documentary credit, supply chain finance, Bank's trade platform as well. Like this is all focused on trade finance, which also, by the way, like yes, I do think that XDC will play a pivotal role within this. That's why Quant has basically partnered with them, which again, kudos to them. But yeah, I think that when we really kind of look at this, yes, this will be a major collaboration effort. I think that Quant having connections to Ripple, Ethereum blockchain, even or blockchain Bitcoin, and even like XDC, for an example, is basically a clear picture on that. And also down here, we also have this video, which is also kind of talking about the same thing, similar to that, if you guys listen in.
What it calls a network of networks to solve the problem of interoperability.
So basically just kind of solidifying that. The only reason why I wanted to bring that back up and play that one last time is because we do see here, and don't forget ICICI India, largest private bank, 100,000 employees. ICICI is talking about QNT, the network of networks regarding trade finance. Listen to the whole 55-second video. Worth it. ICICI onboard at 500 plus clients with their trade finance, platform. And yes, this is the key. And this does go on to really kind of, describe like ICICI is also working with 14 other banks and started a new consortium for trade finance on blockchain in India. 14 more banks connected to OVN. And shout out to Asan NL11 for this. This is also a massive like thread. Like honestly, insane threads from this kid. Like, and I don't mean to like call him a kid by like disrespect or anything like that. Like I just really kind of just like call a lot of people like that. So I do apologize if that was like disrespectful. But anyways, in regards to that area, yeah, I think that this is a very, very large scope of, use case because these are trillion-dollar, markets. Like for an example, trade finance, I'm very aware of, this market and the market size is a $19 trillion, market size. And this is just one of many markets that to me, Overledger is focused on. Like for example, like here are all the absurd scales of use cases that Quant could basically reach out to. Like we do see global finance, payment rails, asset tokenization, currencies, bonds, equities, real estate, art, etc., open banking, trade finance, consumer apps, etc., logistics, shipment, food tracking, like, and just the list goes on. Like it's truly something remarkable. It's honestly insane to even like try to wrap my head around it because this is such a massive opportunity right now within this market. And again, we do see down here like every sector will produce tens of hundreds of networks like this, and QNT is successfully on its way to connect the biggest ones. And yeah, it definitely is like a lot of these major markets are huge in regards to not only the value behind it, but also the amount of names behind some of them. And also, we do see over here, I wonder what Oracle is trying to get at here. Shout out to Tokenizer here as well, like REST APIs, blockchains, API gateways as well. And of course, we do see over here like blockchain is transforming business. Easily create a blockchain network, easily create a permission multi-party blockchain network. Enterprise adapters and rich REST API, built-in API gateway supports REST APIs, or event subscriptions with callbacks and custom user enrollments. Interesting. I wonder who they're utilizing for that API gateway. It's not like they already announced the partnership with Quant going back to like October, November. But we do see like open interoperable multi-cloud blockchain. Again, interoperability is the key here to really kind of solidify. And then, of course, they do talk a little bit more about like the technology behind it. But yeah, I mean, like Oracle is a key player here. Again, interoperability from all of these major players is key. And also from Quant, talking about cross-border payments actually, our exciting work with LAC Chain, a pan-regional blockchain initiative in Latin America and the Caribbean, is transforming cross-border payments and supporting financial inclusion. Going back to this initial, global finance sort of breakdown on like all of the markets that it is going after, this kind of goes right into like open banking, but it also kind of goes into like asset tokenization, payment rails, things like that. Obviously, yes, like when we talk about like cross-border payments, like this is the area that I kind of love to focus on, simply because like cross-border payments, I don't think that a lot of people really kind of realize the scope of this. Like, cross-border payments are a $200+ trillion market by 2027. So it might actually be 2025. I always kind of confuse not only like tokenization, for example, like we've seen like the World Economic Forum, for example, talk about tokenization by 2027. Basically, 10% of the world's GDP will be tokenized. But also like, When we look at, cross-border payments, they're talking about like $200 trillion, I think, by like 2025 to 2027. It doesn't really matter. That time frame is actually very close. Like, it's like 5 years away, for an example, or even 3 years away. So it's something remarkable when you look at the scope of those markets, and we look at like these assets being at the forefront of it or at the center point. And it doesn't even matter if like Quant like is trying to focus on cross-border payments. Remember, they're already connected with Ripple and XRP, which again is like the cross-border king, if you will. So Quant will definitely see that action as well. Transforming cross-border payments in Latin America. We do see like they're talking about like interoperability solutions around like LAC chain, for example, is not only fostering in financial inclusion, but they're also fostering in sustainability, creates new efficiencies through digitization, moving to blockchain-based payments and using networks like LAC chain, can be vastly cheaper, easier, and more efficient than re-engineering older payment infrastructure. And again, this is also what I want to focus on. Like, I think that this is a very, very efficient way of really kind of adopting in this technology. Like, they are not trying to create new payment rails or payment infrastructures. Like, they are going to be utilizing older payment infrastructures, but just kind of, reshaping them. I always kind of look at this like in the sense of like, plug and play doesn't really kind of restructure anything that we are utilizing on a day-to-day basis in regards to like the legacy systems. API gateways just allows for those, legacy systems to utilize ledger technology or even crypto technology and really kind of let the efficiencies shine around some of these major, use cases. I definitely do think that the LAC chain use case is very, massive because this is 12 countries. Also, it does pinpoint why TC307 is very important from Quant, which is sort of like a messaging standard. The best way that I could say is like TC307 is what ISO 222 is to banks for countries, except it's based around blockchain technology and interoperability. But yeah, like this is going to be a very large scope at the end of the day, even not only focusing on like Hyperledger Basu, for example, as they are talking about like, its architecture is centered around this. But what I really focus on is just the scope of it. Like 12 countries in general will be interconnected through Quant. So anything that is happening, there is going to be interconnected to DLTs and even networks alike. And of course, you do see like the overall, efficiencies about utilizing something like this in regards to like an API gateway. You do see like stablecoin, programmable currency, remittance solutions using the stablecoin, wholesale stablecoin, and account management functionality as well. Like this is a very large use case. Like, they're talking about LAC chain reports that 1.6 million people have directly benefited from its service already in regards to their like we do see like the impact of Quant's work with LAC chain. Like we've already impacted 1.6 million people, which is insane. And the technological impact of DLTs have been profound. This is what I have been trying to tell you guys. Like, no matter what we want, no matter what we are trying to focus on here, like investing in the right DLTs is going to be pivotal in the future in regards to like crypto success. Not only like from ROI perspective, but also like technological, perspective. But yeah, I definitely do think that DLTs are going to play a pivotal role here. We do see like the ability to leapfrog legacy technology utilizing DLTs has been a chief benefit. They were talking about like their consumer pays utilizing digital bank cards and wallets such as Apple Pay, Google Pay, and PayPal. Other regions with less access to these services can use DLTs and stablecoins that run on this technology to open new possibilities for payments. And again, the funny thing is like we look at Apple, we look at Google or even PayPal. Like these are multi-billion to trillion-dollar companies, and when I look at DLTs, like we will most likely see like Amazon, Google, Apple sort of like DLTs that do get a little bit more action than the other ones, and are also worth a little bit more than the other ones. But to me, like where we are headed, Quant definitely is at the forefront of it all, and I see so many comments about like why would I invest into anything else other than Quant? I mean, hey, if you want to have that vision, that's totally fine with you. But to me personally, like I'm going to, hedge my bets on winning on both sides of the spectrum. Meaning I'm going to win on the technological, forefront and foundation. But I'm also going to win in regards to like the other technology that is also being utilized, and not only interconnecting it, but actually being the one that's facilitating instant settlement. So again, you do you. Do your own research, understand what you are going to be, holding, what you want to really kind of diversify into, and things like that. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe to notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. It says up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night, wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.